midweek edition of Jamaica Magazine. Today we look at how the government is driving productivity in various sectors. Hello there, I'm Audrey Williams. We get things going right now.
This is the Aedes aegypti mosquito that spreads the Zika, chikungunya, and dengue viruses. Search for its breeding sites and destroy them. A message from the Ministry of Health.
Good day, I'm Lorraine Mendez, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, February 17. Over 2,000 residents are finding it easier to travel between Limehall and St. Anne's Bay after the upgraded Limehall Road was recently reopened. The 2.2 kilometers of roadway was upgraded at a cost of $16 million with money from the Equalization Fund.
This is one of many roads across Jamaica that we have done. Many of them we have not had any functions to open them. This represents over 1,200 kilometers of roads that we have done across Jamaica since 2011. And we know that we have plans to do many more.
The local government minister says this particular project will support improved economic activities in Limehall and adjoining communities.
I hope you'll use this opportunity now to expand your economic activity. Farmers, you're having good rains now. You can put in your crops and you can get it to market very quickly.
An early childhood school catering to children with learning disabilities is to be built and opened for the start of the new academic year in September. Ground broke on Friday for the construction of the facility on the campus of the Sir Clifford Campbell Primary School in Westmoreland. A memorandum of understanding was also signed between the Ministry of Education and Rock House Foundation to facilitate the project.
This academy will become part of a suite of special needs facilities established by the government, and the Ministry of Education, under whatever leadership, will offer full support of trained staff and of full facilities to match the generosity of others and the needs of our people.
The school will prepare students with special needs for transition and integration into the regular classroom. It will also provide access to similar teaching instructions delivered to those pupils. Meanwhile, the Education Minister says work continues to establish 3 additional diagnostics and therapeutic centers across the island. These are to assist children at the early childhood level who have learning disabilities and other special needs. The facilities will be located at Church Teachers College in Manchester, Sam Sharp Teachers College in Montego Bay, and the College of Arts, Science and Education CASE in Portland.
Young people with special needs comprise 15 to 20% of our school population. The Ministry of Education is committed to ensuring that students with special needs and learning challenges receive the opportunity to fulfill their full potential. They too must get a chance to add value to their lives.
Minister Thwaites says a policy on special education has been developed and is expected to be approved by the end of the 2015-2016 financial year. He says the policy will ensure access, equity, and quality in the provision of programs and services for children and youth with special needs. Still on education, 159 students along with staff of the Holy Family Primary and Infant School are the proud beneficiaries of an $8.9 million upgraded infant department. The Jamaica Social Investment Fund provided the bulk of the funding, while the community contributed $2.6 million. The infant department was outfitted with new windows and doors, a play area with outdoor green space, renovated bathrooms, and more.
We can all feel proud and comfortable that the students and their education and their environment has been protected.
The project took just 3 months to complete and forms part of the European Union Poverty Reduction Program. And finally, new civic books on several of our national heroes, their beliefs and ideologies are being distributed in the nation's schools as the Education Ministry continues to push its focus of encouraging civic pride among students. Portfolio Minister Reverend Ronald Thwaites showcased some of the texts on Tuesday while speaking at the launch of Jamaica Day 2016 at the Excelsior Community College.
We have the materials, you know, these and so many other instances. Jamaica is a good place to be born in. Our culture is a noble and dignified one, and we mustn't allow it to be besmirched and to be downgraded by all kinds of influences.
Jamaica Day this year falls on February 26, but due to the general elections, it will be celebrated the following Friday, March 4. The theme is Celebrating Jamaica, Promoting the Arts. And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Thanks for watching.
Jamaica, a logistics-centered economy. Global investors investing in mega projects. Special Economic Zone Act approved by Parliament. Jamaica is ready for increased global trade. Thousands of Jamaicans across the country, from high school to higher learning, trained in logistics management. More ships refueling in Jamaica and increased logistics operations in Jamaica. Capacity building for the business sector. The Jamaica Logistics Hub Initiative, rolling out across the country.
Improving the country's energy efficiency is key to driving productivity and development. To meet this objective, the government is facilitating the development of a sustainable and fiscally prudent energy industry through the energy services company, ESCO.
An ESCO industry is ideally placed to be of benefit to Jamaican consumers, who range from private sector companies to government ministries and agencies, right down to households.
Getting individual energy services companies to organize themselves into an established industry is among the latest manifestations of government's policy of fiscal prudence and a credible macroeconomic program. It's a strategic priority in action. Energy services companies, ESCOs, combine several energy efficiency and renewable energy measures to develop energy-saving projects for their clients.
ESCOs are paid based on performance. That is, the extent of energy cost savings or reduction in energy use. In this regard, their technical teams have an incentive to ensure that project solutions are consistently optimized. In contrast, in-house energy managers, while having the objective to reduce costs, do not necessarily have the resources or the incentives to ensure optimized solutions.
Having individual ESCO businesses join forces to create a local industry is expected to create greater efficiency in the energy sector, bring about savings from reduced energy consumption, and lower the country's import bill for energy services. So in 2012, the Jamaica Productivity Center, JPC, began a $65 million project to build out the sector, with funding support from the European Union and participation from other government and private entities.
We in the European Union therefore believe that it is important to support Jamaica in the reform of its energy sector in order to make it more resilient to external shocks, including volatility in fuel prices, so that the country would become more competitive on a global level in a more sustainable and predictable way.
The DBJ has worked very closely with the Jamaica Productivity Center since March 2012 to establish an ESCO industry in Jamaica to design and implement energy efficiency projects while providing services geared towards the management of energy savings. As a one-stop shop from which clients do not have to be daunted with the business of managing energy while trying to manage their business. During the project implementation, DBJ has also seen an increase in the uptake of energy audits by micro, small, and medium-sized and even large enterprises across all sectors between January 2013 and December 2015 in at least 9 parishes, with loan potential of over $100 million and actual approval given for over $2 billion for energy loans.
As part of the ESCO Jamaica project, JPC and its partners hosted a conference in January 2016 to discuss the way forward. It brought together business owners, contractors, master builders, financiers, policymakers, regulators, and providers of energy efficiency and energy renewable services. Among other things, stakeholders discussed the potential savings for government users of energy.
Study commissioned by the ESCO Jamaica project recently estimated that in our public sector, if we were to reduce the consumption of electricity by 4.7%, this would save 14,000 barrels of imported oil, 22,069 megawatt hours of electricity, and US $9 million in annual savings. If governments are able to spend less on energy services, for instance, then it puts them in a much better position to spend more on providing other goods and services, such as roads, bridges, education, training, social protection, etc.
I'm sure if we were to implement an ESCO, it would be significantly more savings. And of course, that impacts the budget and so forth.
We look forward to the continued growth of the industry and encourage other related stakeholders to increase their support towards developing the great potential for Jamaicans and the economy.
We move now with a greater sense of purpose, greater level of positivism and action to effect this transformation that will enable Jamaica to be the place that we want it to be.
I am convinced that ESCO is unstoppable.
Don't make diseases spread. Wash your hands with soap and water instead. Wash them regular or use a hand sanitizer. Make sure the germs them dead. Touching your eyes or your mouth or your nose. Wash your hands before you do things like those. After you use the bathroom before preparing food, come on, wash your hand them clean.
As part of its growth strategy, the government is driving productivity and access to markets for local producers. Jamaica's craft industry is benefiting from this push through an investment of $15 million. Listen up as craft vendors share their experience.
Beautiful items, wonderfully made by local craft producers.
We think it's past time due for us to really celebrate the wonderful, absolutely sweet treats of our culture.
My name is Victor Wallace, and this is a necklace set from mother of pearl shell. The black part of the shell, there's a black and there's a white. We had to sand away the black in order to get the white for the combination. I'm from St. Anne, and I do art and craft. I work with cow horn, conch shell.
The government has embarked on a number of initiatives to bring the island's craft producers to the front of store shelves and ultimately into the offices and homes of local and international shoppers. There is the Craft Council of Jamaica, established by the Tourism and Entertainment Ministry. This is the central body which oversees the development of the craft sector in its entirety and monitors the quality of items produced and sold as authentic Jamaican craft. Also, the Old Fort Craft Market and Heritage Park in St. James was restored by the government following a fire that damaged the venue. $14 million was spent by the Tourism Enhancement Fund to refurbish the 15 shops. Then recently, craft producers along the main tourist belt were engaged in a 2-year North Coast craft revitalization project.
They taught us a lot of stuff in terms of marketing our products, proper bookkeeping, and a lot of marketing strategies, which really helped me a lot. It put me in more perspective where I get a better understanding of the market how to present my product to the people.
JDDC, they visited me a few times in St. Anne Bay, and they gave me some tools. And there's a lady came down. He gave me a little rundown of some stuff that I could make, like for instance, cuffling from the same shell. That was an experience. I started doing those as well. Thanks for the experience I have. Even though I was doing it before, but I improved on it now. At that time, I met them.
It was a $15 million revitalization project aimed at improving product quality, finishing and design of craft products in the North Coast region, specifically in the parishes of St. Anne, Trelawney and St. James. The initiative was a collaborative effort between the Jamaica Business Development Corporation, JBDC, and the Tourism Enhancement Fund.
These are high quality things Jamaican screened and selected products from the best of our Jamaican producers.
That project ended with the publication of a magazine, True Stories. The picture-filled glossy publication highlights the work of 22 craft producers.
What I do actually is woodcraft, in terms of doing wooden bowls and posters and stuff like that.
I've been doing it for quite some time now, from 1974 I think it is. I used to work for Turtwich Stores then, and I started there then, and then I left the job sometime in 79, and I continued doing it. And if it wasn't for the love I had for craft, I wouldn't be here talking to you today.
We know for sure that this is where our culture is cradled and nourished and nurtured.
I think they're really doing a great job in terms of helping small Jamaican craft vendors and woodworkers to get their products out.
Stylish housewares, elegant jewelry pieces, Jamaican craft producers are definitely among the best. So go out and pick up a local craft piece today. To purchase local craft items or for additional details on the government's program for craft producers, contact the JBDC at 14 Camp Road, call 928-516125.
The media landscape is awash with commercials offering a variety of loans, but consumers be cautious about these seemingly attractive deals. Loan companies sometimes practice over-lending to consumers and impose excessive fees and onerous contract terms. If you are seeking a loan, try to approach reputable organizations like banks and credit unions. Consider these points before you borrow: the purpose of the loan, the terms and conditions including the type of interest and the associated processing fees, the period for repayment, and other non-interest related charges. If you think a loan offer is misleading or false, contact the Consumer Affairs Commission. Call 906-5425, 906-8568, or 906-0813. They're located at 34 Trafalgar Road, Kingston 10.
That's the old way of doing things. Introducing Government of Jamaica Electronic Procurement, a speedy, transparent and accessible online method used to bid for government contracts. Contact the Ministry of Finance and Planning for more information.
truly make Jamaica the place of choice to do business, we need to identify and eliminate counterproductive habits. We need to stop thinking of productivity in terms of how quickly can I get things done, but reinvent the wheel and think how powerful is the outcome I produced. Diligently crafting a million to-do lists and answering all your emails with lightning speed may be hurting more than helping. Here are other work-related actions that are actually counterproductive. Instead of a list, manage your time in your calendar. Your calendar has a limited amount of time in it, so look at what's most important to get done in the time you have. Slot it in and get it done. We work in a world that revolves around email, but sometimes a phone call is the smartest and most productive way to get something done. It just depends on the task. One thing that wastes time is not pausing to think. We're all tempted to use our default method, but stopping to think about which is actually best suited for the task will get us choosing the most efficient way. One corporate mindfulness training expert coined this behavior: action addiction. When we get overwhelmed with tasks, finishing anything, even if it's not the most important, signals the reward centers in the brain. If we're not mindful and completely aware of our priorities, we can get too focused on that instant gratification. Then before you know it, it's the end of the day and you've worked so hard, but have gotten nothing done. Sounds familiar? This can actually make your output decline tremendously. Taking just 1 second to pause and readjust can make all the difference. Look to see what's holding you back so you can move towards developing more productive work habits. The Petroleum Corporation of Jamaica is not only driving development through energy efficiency, but also through the Graduate Mentorship Program, which hones the professional and social skills of Jamaica's future leaders. Learn more in the upcoming feature.
That dream I'm dreaming, but there's a voice inside my head saying, you'll never reach it.
At some point in our lives, we all set goals we want to achieve. And though the path to accomplish them may be smooth for some, for others, it can be a real struggle. However, with determination and a little help, you often find that goals which seemed so unattainable suddenly seem within reach.
But I gotta keep trying, gotta keep my head held high.
The government, through various social development programs across ministries, agencies, and departments, has been extending that helping hand, providing mentorship, training, and opportunities for employment.
It ain't about how fast I get there, ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb.
The Ministry of Science, Technology, Energy and Mining, MSTEM, is among the government ministries that are facilitating a mentorship environment. Successful MSTEM programs include the Train the Trainer program in animation, Digital Jam, and Startup Jamaica. Through these programs, Jamaicans have been able to secure meaningful employment and become successful entrepreneurs. And now, the STEM Ministry has added a new program, the Petroleum Corporation of Jamaica PCJ Graduate Internship Program.
You're going to be exposed to just so much. It's going to be a really great experience, I can tell you, because you're going to be blown away by the extent of the exposure that you're going to get in this program. We're talking about innovations in energy. We're talking about conservation and mechanics of that international fuel pricing formula.
The objective is really to lend a hand to the development of young people in Jamaica. It forms part of our broader list of corporate social responsibility programs in contributing to the development of Jamaica through its young people.
The 10 shortlisted interns will spend a year at the PCJ in an area of their choosing, whether finance, human resources management, engineering, geology, information technology, and media and mass communication. While working at the PCJ, the participants are expected to gain valuable skills to help them transition into professional life, preparing them to take on the working world and contribute to the economic development of the country.
You'll be well advised to learn and practice proper time management, demonstrate initiative to constantly broaden your scope of knowledge, and eagerly embrace the hands-on lessons that are necessary to attaining mastery in your chosen area of specialization.
And the eager interns are raring to go, armed with some skills of their own, anxious to achieve their professional goals.
I've brought with me my passion and enthusiasm about writing.
I did a geology and chemistry degree, so I also bring in some amount of chemistry to my degree, which is very important in oil and gas research, especially when it comes to hydrocarbon research. So I guess those are kind of the big skills that I bring to this.
In the future, I'd like to become an HR manager. I'm learning all aspects of HR, so that will contribute to my development and that I'll be well-rounded.
We intend to afford them some amount of training opportunities, soft skills, and some amount of coaching and various forms of development. The expectancy of them is to learn and perform.
Being in the PR department, I've been able to give an input in everything that has been including this event, and I can see where I have been contributing.
I've been exposed to a number of areas, not only in engineering or construction, but also even stuff just like as simple as administrative stuff, which is necessary you need in our development as young professionals.
Sanjay is a civil engineer graduate but wants to transition into chemical engineering.
Considering that PCJ is actually within the energy sector, it's advantageous to me to have been placed here.
I expect at the end of the day to become a well-rounded individual who is able to function effectively in respective environments.
We would hope that this program will grow to take on more students, and so that in the end the Jamaican society can benefit from the productivity that these persons will be taken to the job market.
But their job search may very well begin and end at the PCJ.
Yes, there is a possibility of a permanent employment for all the graduate interns in their participation. The policy is tailored that way, so that if it is that there is a vacancy and that person has a competencies to match the vacancy, as with all other employment screening, then we will be looking at the intern.
The PCJ's graduate internship program is inspired by Petrojam, another subsidiary of the STEM ministry, which also operates an internship program. So, with government taking a leadership role to groom young people for meaningful employment, it's also adding to the pool of qualified persons from which businesses can choose.
This is where we close things off for today. Tomorrow the information will flow your way right here, so please join us. Until then, keep the link through our social media connections at jis.gov.jm on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter. I'm Audrey Williams. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.